Hello, my name's Chris, this is Blue Kraken Gaming, and welcome back to Satisfactory, where if you are enjoying the series, I would ask that you please consider leaving a like, a comment, or a subscription. Any will help the channel grow, and they help get it out in front of other people, so thank you very much to those of you that do that. Now, in our last episode, we managed to get this beauty set up, so we're now actually making all of the Phase 4 project assembly parts. Now the challenge we're going to have is getting the output from here over there. So I've got to work out the best way of doing that, and I'm thinking we might just try and bring it down and underneath. So if we pop that there, and this is a noisy thing. Right, take that as a receiving one. There we go. Like, how many have we... I don't even know how many we've made. But it's been running. Right, okay. Cool, that is so noisy. Okay, and then we can run this straight down here. Which means we should see the nuclear pasta coming along it. Yeah, there is one. Cool, okay. And then we're going to come around like this and just keep bringing it. Right, okay, and then we're going to need to go under this one. And... right, where are we going to go from here? Like, I feel like we could probably just feed it, or maybe not, because they're all in use, aren't they, those ones? Yeah, which means we ideally would want to try and bring it round here somewhere. Yeah, because those ones are all done. Yeah, because we don't need turbo motors going in there anymore. We're nearly done with that project assembly system. Okay, alright. So the way we're going to have to do this is by coming up like this. And then, yeah, that's too far. Okay. Right. Bring these out like this a little bit. And then, can you reach here? You can. And then you can go up there like that. Cool. Right, so then that route is now done, and we should see the nuclear pasta slowly making its way along. Like, I think there's our first one. Oh, that looks funky. I think even last season I never actually looked at it quite in that detail, but that's very cool. I like that. Okay, so that's effectively all of the bits done. So now we've just got to wait. Now, this is... what, you're making half of one a minute? Oh, that's so loud. Yeah, so that's going to take 200 minutes to make... Okay. Now, you guys... so you're making 2 of these cubes a minute, which should be enough to feed... yeah, a fair amount of that. It's the copper that's going to be holding us back on that. Because that is... wow, still not actually at full speed. How is that not at full speed? That needs 600 copper a minute. Oh, it's because it's manifolding, isn't it? Of course. No, it's not. That's not manifolding at all. Okay, so it would help if we told these ones to do copper. Did I forget to tell all of them to do copper? They all look like they're working. You two aren't working. Okay. Alright, well that now looks like a full set of lights, so that should then make that work at full speed. But ideally we'd like more copper than we're probably getting. That's the bit. And those two nodes are maxed out. We need another 600 to make more. I really don't want to have to fiddle with the water to make it, to get more out of this, but it feels like that's what we might have to do. But we haven't got any like nice large patches of water. We've got that little bit down there. Alright, let's have a look. Just for argument's sake, let's have a look. So, if you were to make pure copper... Yeah, see, that is more than twice as efficient. Okay, so that's 15. So we've got 600 by 15. So that means we'd be making 40 of these. And then we've got... 40 times 10 is 400. Which means we'd need... what, just about 3 of them would cover it, I think. Either way, 40 of those is a lot to try and put down. Ooh. Did not expect to quite run down quite like that. That's okay. Right, how much do you output? That's 120. So if we needed 400, and you guys are maxed out, aren't you? Yeah, we would need a load of overclock cores, which we don't have yet. Okay. Do we have any other copper? We've got more copper over there that we could try and make use of. Okay, we've only got one copper node there. Okay, and then we've got that one there that we're using for the Christmas stuff. Normal node there. Normal node there that's been claimed. Hang on. 3 copper nodes there. But then we've got to try and bring the powder... Actually, do we have to try and bring the powder back? If we... I'm just trying to think how to speed this up so this isn't going to be another, like, 5 episodes just waiting for that. If we... Yeah, see, we'd have to then increase all of these smelters. As in, like, we'd need more of them. And if we're gonna bring more ore in, then we may as well just... Because that's the other thing as well. That line is nearly at capacity. Bringing in 300 a minute. So if we were to do that, we'd just be bringing in... Yeah, I don't know what our best way around this is. Like, we could try and ship... We could ship in the copper ore or the copper dust, because the copper dust is... Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Let's do that. Okay. So... We are going to need, and I will explain this as we get going, naturally we're going to need 2 more drone ports and a drone. Because why wouldn't I be using drones? Okay. So it's just the high-speed connectors we're going to need. We should have those in a container over here. Yep. Alright, grab those. Cool. Right. And then we're going to head over this way. Because this is where those copper nodes are. Yeah, they're down by that pit. Okay. Ah, look, all of our Fixma stuff God, it's weird to think that we did all of that a year ago, and, you know, when this turns back on, that's just going to immediately kick back up exactly where it was. Right, okay, so we want to come down here, and we are absolutely just going to fly this, and we're going to want to head towards... We're going to want to head off in a different direction in a minute, which is why I've grabbed this. So we're going to want to go that way. Now let's just make sure I'm facing the right direction. I am. There they are. I can even see those 3 nodes. Okay, so let's have a look then. So if we come down here and we go to Mark 3 miners, which means I need to get up to 9 of these. Yeah, I'd love to put these in the outer thing. Although, to be fair, off camera, I could probably just build a load of them and upload them myself, couldn't I? That would probably not be a bad idea. Just while I'm letting things tick over in the background. Right, okay, production, that's what we're looking for. So we want, no, not refineries, miner Mark 3s. Okay. Now, how much are you outputting? You're doing 240, 240, and 240. Okay, so 3 sets of 240. Okay. Okay, so that is actually a full Mark 5 line. No, just under a full Mark 5 line. Okay, that's fine. Because we can then put our merger here effectively. Feed all these guys in. Right, okay, so if we have 720... So 720 divided by 30, that's 24. Okay. So let's align this on the world grid so we've got somewhere to work with. Right. How many did I say we needed? 24. Okay. Now, where's our smelter line up? There it is. So we're going to want auto connect. 2, 3, 4. Whoa, what happened there? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And yeah, it's 24. So let's expand these out a bit more this way. So what have we got? That was 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll set the same up the other side, so we'll mirror them. Slightly concerned about these ones over here. I worry they're going to run into the hill. So let's try and scooch these as close as possible. Now I know I could be using the water for this to try and make it more efficient, but right now I'm not too worried about maximising the output from here. I'm going for convenience over efficiency. Or you're going to sneak in. No, you're just going to have to be just a hair off like that, annoyingly. Okay. Right, we'll grab the splitter. Now, what way you're facing? That way. Excellent. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, that one's in the wrong place. Okay. I've not done the maths to work out how much powder we're going to get out of this. Right, that's going to again have to be slightly off kilter, annoyingly. Right, okay. Just trying to make sure I get everything in. We'll have to do power in a moment as well. Yeah, just curve those in like that. Cool, okay. And this one's going to go back to being straight. And you're going to feed in there. And yeah, we're just going to have to sneak that up like that. Okay. Power is now going to come up here like so. Right. Now then. Let's start putting the power lines down. Like this. Okay. And then we're going to have to refine all of this into the copper powder and then fly it back over to the main base, which is going to be quite inefficient because it's not that far away, but it's going to be easier than, you know, trying to run a truck or a train. So we will just get these last couple fed in here. Right, and then hook that in. Right, that means you need to be a Mark II because you're joining halfway in. Lovely. Right, these guys all have power. And I should be able to paste the settings for all of them. So yeah, we can see all the lights turning yellow because they've all got their recipes. Lovely, okay. Right. And then bring this up. Like here. Cool. Okay. Fine, so that's now going to start feeding all of these guys, which then means we've got 720 copper powder coming in. And these guys work on 300. So again, we're going to be able to do just over 2. Okay. I'm just going to give us a bit of a platform for these. Right, okay. So that's going to be those. I think we can just deal with a splitter. It means that they won't all be running at 100% efficiency, but again, I think we're okay with that. Right. Right. Yep. That should be the right height. You're going to feed in there. Okay, cool. So that's that all now fed. We're going to get rid of that tree. Beautiful. Okay, and then you need power up here. So let's bring some of this over. Okay. Whoa. And now we can start setting up the logistics to fly it back. Right, there we are. Okay, and again, we'll come around here. This time we'll have our merger. And... 2, 3, and you're going to feed in there. We'll take that line down so it's not in the middle of the bit. Right, okay. So this is going to be copper powder out. There we go. You guys need to know what you're making, which is copper powder. Okay. So then, like I say, those guys are not going to be working at 100%. But they will be working and they will be giving us more copper powder, which is good. Okay. So, let's then head back. Like, again, there's a water pressure node there. We could have made use of that, but we'll see how we go. I mean, this should bring it down to, well, what's that, 100 minutes, which will be a bit. And we still got everything else to wait on as well, so yeah, it's not the end of the world. Right. We will be getting this going. I think what we're then going to be doing is spending some time working on the aesthetics of our base, because I'm getting a bit frustrated with a lot of the scaffolding we've got, where it is just, it just looks untidy. There's no two ways around that. It's an untidy base, but it's functional, which is the immediate priority. But it's like, look at it, we've got so many random bits hanging off. We've got walls that aren't finished. So I think we're going to be trying to do a little bit of that. And so this, we'll probably be spending a few episodes after this doing some aesthetics. So do let me know. Comments. We need to sort the quartz out as well, don't we? Right. So first up, we're going to need another particle accelerator. That way round. Okay. And then I'm going to take that out. We are going to put splitter there. And then splitter like that. And then we're going to want... Yeah, we're not going to fit that on there like that, are we? Do that. Then... Yeah, that's not going to play ball either. Ah, that will do. Okay. And then... Oh wow, yeah, we got... Power that one. Okay. Cool. Right. And now we need to get the powder over here. So we're going to need a drone port. Where am I going to fit this? Because that's just going to be clipping through stuff otherwise. But the only place it claimed it would fit was somewhere around here, wasn't it? Now I can't get it to fit at all. Oh! Oh, yeah, no, that's not. That doesn't actually fit. Okay. Because we need to get the fuel over here as well. That's going to be the catch. Okay, I think where we're going to have to put it is going to have to be like around here. And then we're going to have to do something creative to get the fuel over. Right, logistics. Not logistics, transport. Drone port. Right, there we go. Whoa, what happened with that? That is all off by a level. Okay, right. Transport drone. Missing miner. Of course I am. Right, yeah, definitely think I'm just going to make a load of these off camera to just have that I'll have just uploaded on my own. Right, okay, no, not that, that. Cool, okay. This is going to be copper powder in 1. In 1, there we go. You are going to have a merger here. Okay, cool. And then we need to bring the fuel. Okay. Hang on, that's raised up. Let's take that down. I think that might have been where it was where we accidentally had that other layer. Right, yeah, that looks better now. Right. So then we're going to need to put a conveyor hold there. Put that lift there. And then yeah, we're going to need to bring a splitter here. Right, and then in like that. Okay. Right, for speed I think I'm going to grab 100 out of this one. Because that one's already able to refuel. We'll grab that, pop that in there. And you are going to... copper powder out. There we go. Oh, it needs power, doesn't it? Where have we got some spare power? There we go. Right, that should... There we go. Let that go and get some more copper powder. Which means we're now going to be producing twice as much nuclear pasta. Right. Oh, they're so noisy. Right. Gee whiz, that's so noisy. Right. I'm hoping that I'll be able to turn that down a little bit for you in post, but there we go. That should hopefully get it done, and then, like I say, that should be bringing in, hopefully, a chunk more copper powder for us. Which will hopefully keep these guys fed. That'll be the hope. Because at the moment, yeah, this one's production has dropped because it's now having to share its copper powder. But hopefully that drone will be back over soon and it'll have a decent amount of copper powder working for us. And then I think we're going to have to work out what to do about the quartz, because that's drying up. We're not bringing in enough quartz either. And I don't think that the truck is going to be a good way of doing it going forwards. Now, we could run a giant belt. A giant belt might be the easiest way with our current infrastructure, because otherwise we've got to work a whole train line around. So, yeah, that might be what we're looking at next episode. Why have I got amber lights over here? Why is this stopped? What are you waiting on? Radio control units. Why are the radio control units stopped? Oh, you're yellow. We're short on aluminium casings. Why are we shy on aluminium casings? Oh, it's going to be a problem-solving episode next episode. I can already feel it. Why are we shy on aluminium casings? Right, there's our copper powder. So yeah, these guys are making, 100 a minute between them. Hang on, wait, 100 a minute between them? How much do you need? Oh, 100 a minute. Okay, alright, so that is fine. Okay. So that should hopefully go and get a load. That should hopefully flood the line a bit more. There we go. There we go, which should hopefully help both of those keep running a bit more. Okay. So, in the meantime, we're going to have to go and find out what's going on with the aluminium. Because that seems to have got stopped. I say stopped. That says it's got 300. Why is that telling me it's got 300 aluminium? And yet there's none there. Okay, alright. Well, we're going to have to go and find out what's going on with that. But that'll be for next episode. So, I'm going to wrap up here and say, as usual, likes, comments, subscriptions, they will help the channel grow. They help get it out in front of other people. So thank you very much to those of you that do that. Thank you very much to my YouTube channel members. Your support is very much appreciated. And please don't forget that as a supporter, you do get access to the save files for any of the open world games I'm currently playing, as well as early access to the videos, so you get to see what's going on before anybody else does. Also, don't forget, you've got your channel members only series. But other than that, thank you all very much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you all next time.